Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this Blitz chess postmortem video. This is a postmortem of my Blitz chess game number 134 where I was black. My opponent kicked off with e4 and I played c5, the Sicilian defense. And I played my normal d6 and he played bishop b5 check. You see that's the second most popular move after d4. And so I play knight c6. You can also play bishop d7, which is the main move and what I usually play. Or knight d7, which is a way of trying to avoid exchanges and keep the game complicated. So an interesting try, knight d7. But I play knight c6, which allows the pin, walking into the pin as it were. And then the best move here for white, it says, is just castling and with some advantage. Also bishop takes c6, check. Messing up my pawn structure right away is another line. But it looks like this castles line is the most challenging. And after the chess engine has some time to think about it, it rates castles pretty highly. Okay, but my opponent didn't play that. Instead he played this really unusual move, c4. So it's actually listed in the opening book, but there are no games. Okay, and then after bishop d7, we sort of transposed. I mentioned before, I've seen this line once before in these videos. This is called the Canal-Sokolsky attack, this bishop b5 check here. It's related to the Rossolimo, but technically the Rossolimo is after black has played knight c6 instead of the move d6. That's the Rossolimo. But by playing knight c6, I've sort of transposed into a line of the Rossolimo. But yeah, because bishop b5 check was played when I had played d6 is the Canal-Sokolsky. So bishop d7, logical move, breaking the pin after c5. And then white castles, and I played knight f6. I could have played g6 here and still been within an opening book. But you'll see, let's just go back to the notation tab. We're out of the book. You see the game is about even, so this is not, this c5 move I don't think is particularly great. It sort of traps this bishop over here and forces white to have this light squared pawn complex in the center and a hole on d4. So I play knight f6 first, attacking his pawn, seeing how he's going to defend it. He plays d3, and then I play knight d4. And you'll see that suddenly, from being a position which is about even here, it suddenly goes to being one in favor of white. I mean, the thing is, this bishop here, I don't really want to trade his bad bishop for my good bishop. So this move, knight d4, is just a positional mistake. And one idea would be just to put the question to the bishop with the move a6. Yeah, you see that creeps up here as a line. Basically, if he trades for the knight, then I have the advantage of the two bishops. And if he retreats, it's just not going to have a lot of prospects on these light squares hemmed in by his own pawn. So so after a6, the chess engine thinks takes is the most logical, and then I don't even have to mess up my pawn structure, and I've got the advantage of the two bishops. So that's a good way to play. So knight d4, not the best move. And he takes there first, and then he takes... oh, he didn't take. Yeah, the chess engine was recommending why not just take, get rid of this bishop, which is not really doing a whole lot. Knight d4 or bishop takes d7. Okay, he took there first, and then bishop takes d7 or bishop g5, just leaving the bishop there. So a4, not the most precise way to play. And the game continues, f4, and I play d5 here. So d5 is a mistake, second mistake here. And you'll see the evaluations start to climb. After c takes d5, he actually gets quite a good game. He didn't play this way, but I just wanted to show it to you for the sake of understanding what's going on here. C takes, and my plan was to take back, but if I do that, he can play e5, and my knight has to retreat. It has no good squares to go to, and I have these funny doubled pawns in the center. I can protect the d pawn with my bishop, the advanced d pawn, but he has a good game. He can advance forward with with f5 and maybe even a later e6, and he just needs to get a few pieces out of the way and get his rook over, and he's got a tremendous attack brewing. And in the meantime, my knight has been forced back to its starting position. So white, even though he has not yet got a material advantage, has a tremendous positional advantage here. So that would not have been good. So after c takes, instead of taking back, the chess engine says I have to take here. He takes, and then he takes d5 now. e5. And now I have another square to put my knight on, then I can go to d7. So at least I'm not so far behind in development. And, this is still good for white. My play just was not correct to this point. So d5 was a wrong move. But he didn't find the best way to punish it. He took with the e-pawn, and now I can play e takes d5, which I did, or bishop takes b5, but I took this way. And then he took here. And after queen takes, we get a position which is about even once again. So let's back up. It became even here with bishop takes. So he should throw in rook e1 check. Let's see the right way for him to play. Or queen e2 check, bishop e7, king f8. Oh, trying to unpin. Yeah, so I guess the pin is more awkward if he leaves the bishop in place. The pin on the e-file is more dangerous. So after the exchange, he goes for the same idea, the check, and going after the pinned bishop with his queen. But now I have some ways to defend, and it's interesting that the way I chose d takes c4 was actually the top choice of the chess engine here. And yeah, I didn't understand all the ramifications of d takes c4. I thought basically I was trying to clear out this pawn on d3, which is the right idea, but I thought I was going to get this square for my knight, and that's not really the main point. The main point is after he takes back, I have the move d3, just pushing on ahead, and I did find this in the game, although it took me a while of thinking. So this opens up a nice square for my queen to come here and check and threaten his weak c-pawn. And it also gets rid of this pin along this e-file here. There's no safe square for the queen on the e-file. If he goes to any of these dark squares, I can harass it with the knight. And the light squares are covered currently, well, this one by the pawn, this one by the knight, and this one by the pawn. So yeah, there might be something even better. For example, if he went here, what does the chess engine say is the best way to play this? Just castle. If I castle, why can't he take? Because of rook A or F. Rook A8, say. Queen takes. Rook takes. Oh, and then with check. Rook E2 check. And then I can take the queen back. Okay. That's pretty cute. So, yeah, I didn't notice that during the game. So if it stays anywhere on the, sorry, he went to d2. That's back up one step. So if the queen stays anywhere on the e-file, it turns out I can castle anyway because of rook to e8. And, and if he takes my queen, I take here with check and then take the queen back. That's pretty neat. And the fact that I have the king can attack my rook, but I have the square e2 for my rook with a check again, and it's defended. So this pawn on d3 is really a powerful part of my position here. So that was why, backing up, that was why d takes c4 here was such a good move. Yeah, so I didn't see all of that. But good to know. Okay, so he went d2, just stopping the pawn from advancing. And now, even though the position is even, suddenly, it shows a real strong advantage for black, just starting with the move castling. Not like the most direct move. It doesn't seem like it's a position where black is directly winning. It's just that white's pieces are so awkward that just by simple developing moves, black is going to just completely overpower white. So knight c3, he's trying to develop logically. Bishop b4, pinning the knight. And then king h1. I guess that's not one of the top choices, but it is a reasonable choice. You'll see king h1, yeah. So it's made its way up to second. So I mean, it's not like king h1 is an awful move. It's actually now got the same value as rook e5. So it's not like he's playing bad moves at this point. It's just that his position is so awful that there's not a lot he can do. And after, what was that last move? Yeah, after b3, though, it sort of falls apart. So there's a lot of threats here. There's a pin on the knight, and I'm threatening the move knight to knight to e4, which is a fork between the queen and that knight. So it says rook e5 is the best move. I could also just play queen up to d5, d4. So let's see. Our queen d1, rook e5. I just want to see a sample line here. Rook e5, knight g4, hitting the rook, queen e1, defending the rook, but he's going to lose the rook. How about if he trades? And then plays h3, kicking the knight. All very logical. What's my answer? My answer is queen e6. Okay. And if he takes the knight, then queen h6. Check leads to mate. King g1. Bishop c5, check. Okay, now it's just giving up pieces. So if he doesn't want to play queen e3, what else is there? There's the rook here, and queen h1 is mate. Wow. So that's pretty quick destruction. So he can't take the knight after queen e6. Says he should try something like knight e4. I'm just going to take it if he moves the knight to e4, or take his queen, which is what happened in the game. Let's cancel that. Not very inspiring. Or queen e3. Queen e3, where the knight can take it. Let's cancel that. So, you know, it's funny. It's I have a rook, a queen, and two pieces. He's got a rook, a queen, and two pieces. And it's just that my pieces are all out and his are undeveloped. And it's already reached the point of no return where he has no move. It's just overwhelming position. So, so even if he hadn't played b3, which is maybe a little quicker in the demise, he was already in big trouble. So knight e4 with the fork I was talking about earlier, and now the knight is not not supported by the b pawn, so it just loses a piece. He took the knight, and actually that's one of the top choices, giving up the queen. So that's how bad his position is. He gives up two pieces for the queen. And now things are pretty good for me, and I make my mistake here. So this is if you didn't see the game. Well, rook takes is okay because the knight was attacking the rook, and then I should play something like b6 or queen d5. All very logical. If I play b6, he can't take it because I will take his knight. But I didn't notice that this pawn was sort of indirectly guarded. So I go ahead and take the pawn, and now he has knight takes b7, getting a pawn back and also winning the exchange because it's a fork of my queen and rook. So I play queen c7, he grabs the... and now it's a queen against a rook and bishop, which is a fairly even contest, although the rook and bishop are slightly more difficult to coordinate. So technically the queen is stronger than the rook and bishop. But the main feature of this position that really is going to make this fairly easy for me to win is this pawn here on d3. So going back to that move fairly early on where I played d takes c5, that was what gave me this strong passed pawn here. So kind of interesting. It survived and is going to be determining the game. Now this is a neat trick. Of course, if I take the bishop, I get mated. So I have to move to the side. I have to keep guarding the back rank. But he just doesn't have a way of supporting the rook on the back rank and forcing the win of a queen or something. So we both give our kings some lift, and then I start working on making the d-pawn into a queen, and now he has to sack the bishop to stop that, and then he resigns at this point. So interesting game, I thought. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave any comments you have in the section below, and I'll see you again later. Bye.